how are we all? Today I thought we'd do a Wip Wednesday because I actually remembered to do something on the right day. Very often I think about doing a Wip Wednesday, I don't think about doing it in advance or after and then putting it up on Wednesday. But today is Wednesday, I'm up and at it, and 20 to 11 here in the UK as I'm filming this. I've been up, I've been out, I've had a walk, I'm full of energy, so let's get going. Something I pulled out the other day is a lot of you may remember before I'd got out an advent calendar that I got scammed on last year, and it had like acrylic yarn hanged up in like 7 or 8 grams, and I wanted to do something with it. At the time I got it, I opened it up, realised it was a scam, threw it to one side and got annoyed with it and forgot. Then I pulled it all out and I started doing, let's see if I can put it, I started doing these little flower motifs, a popcorn like flower that I got from Granny Square Flowers. It was just one simple square, and I had 24 different colours, and I went around, before I go through all of them, I'll put a picture up later, but there are 73 I ended up with. I realised I could get 3 of the popcorn flowers out of each one and have a bit left over. And I have a pile, I took a picture of the piles, but the 73, I counted them this morning. I went around the outsides with some scrap balls of yarn that I had hanging about from other projects. I've not weaved in many ends yet, so they'll either get done as they go or weaved in near the end. And what I did with what was left over, let me take that off, it's driving me mad, is I made up a magic knot ball with what was left from either the outsides, that was from doing the outside, but the rest of them are the leftover bits of yarn. I should have weighed that to let you know how much I've got, but I figure when I've decided what I'm doing with all these squares, I think I do know what I'm going to do. I will edge it with this, but I need another colour to join these all together. I think I'm going to crochet them together in a join as you go method rather than sew them all up. Now our cat, she's 9 years old, and every time we bring a new blanket or a throw into the sofa, it's hers. And she's also taken over the bed upstairs in the small room. We've got a single bed and she goes and sleeps up there, so I put a blanket down for her quite regularly, change it and wash it when we all, normal washing. So at the moment she's got my, is it 12 or 24 pointed star blanket up there, and I need a couple more, so I thought I would put these all together and make a couple of, I think there'd be enough to cover the bottom half of the bed where she sleeps on, and she won't mind the colours, and it's got to be soft and springy enough for her. It does make a difference, believe me, she does get picky. And if there's a crocheted blanket or just like a fleece throw or a furry throw, she will go for the crochet ones. So I think that's what I'm going to do. It's going to go for the cat because she has good taste and she's lovely. Well, she's lovely most of the time. Excuse me. Second coffee of the day. I had one earlier, needed another one. So that's how far I got with the ropey advent calendar. It was just double knit size 3, acrylic yarn, and I made squares that big. Colours are coming up funky, aren't they? At certain angles, must be where I was at. At first I was taking a colour out, doing that colour, then doing the outsides, and then I got bored one night. I just went through all the colours over a few nights and then did the outsides. Anyway, so that is project number 1 that I've got on the go and that I want to get worked up into something. I might even get 2 somethings out of it, depending on the size they come up at. And that'll be out the way. Second thing I have on the go is I'm still with my cotton stash. I have quite a bit of it, more than I like to admit. I'm getting tangled here, sorry guys, hang on. There we go. I've been making like dishcloths or washcloths, and I just use them in the kitchen or for wiping hands on, just instead of like kitchen room. And last night I was watching telly and I grabbed a part-used ball of yarn and I just sort of free-handed it. It's gone a bit wavy, but if I lay it down, stretch it out, it lays flat. And I started off with 12. I've just increased at different places, put some holes in there, and at the moment I'm going around and doing shells around the outside, and then I'm getting all tangled up here guys, and then I got putting shells within the shells for the last row here. Oh, it's going that way, isn't it? And just sort of big enough for wiping down the side or putting a pot on or whatever I need it to be in the kitchen, because the price of kitchen roll these days is astronomical and the cheap ones aren't that good. So I think it was Kayleigh showed me, everyone over on Home to Yarn, showed us she has a basket of these dishcloths, washcloths in her kitchen instead of using kitchen roll. And it made me think, I have so much cotton yarn that I'm doing it. Laura from Mad Mimi's Crochet and Farming did a year of dishcloths, which did make along when everybody followed up the same book. And I didn't join in on that, and I bet I haven't got the second book here, no. And I regretted not joining in with that. And it turns out Missy from Mrs. Yaniverse and More is doing another type of make-along. And I know I had the book here somewhere, but it's not here. I think she's starting in January. I'll link everybody down below. And she's doing a make-along with a slightly smaller book that I think she's starting in January. So I've got some yarn ready, I've got the book ready, I've got my hooks ready, and let's go Missy, yeah. Anyway, for this one, on one of my last yarn hauls ages ago, I bought some Yarnsmith's Cotton Wonder. And that is in this shade Spirit Sundown. It's 100% cotton, 212 metres, 232 yards, knits to most DK pattern. Let me give you the details you ever read. And it is sturdy, but it's soft to knit with, knit or crochet with. It doesn't dry my hands out. You know, some of them can be quite rough on your hands. That isn't. And I have enough to finish it off and probably get another small one out of it. And who says our dishcloths or our washcloths have to be drab and dull? The last thing I've got to show you, I'll show you, and then I'm going to frog it. When we were, and I have not got the ball band on me, I'm sorry. when me and Luke went for a pop round Aldi a few weeks ago, they just had their yarn event, and I didn't go in because I didn't need any more yarn. But while we were in there, Luke picked up this yarn. It's a bit darker than this. It's showing a bit bright and shiny. It's not. No, it's darker. It's more of what I call uniform green. If any of you have ever watched Stud's Army and green uniforms on there, it's that sort of colour. And Luke said, "Oh, I really, really like that." I said, "Well, what would you like made with it?" And he said, "Oh, I don't know." I said, "I could do a hat, I could do mittens." And he said, "Oh, a hat, yes, please." So I started knitting a hat, but that's the word for the day today, isn't it? I started doing the ribbing, but it's... Let me try and get my words in order. I needed 4mm knitting needles, and I've got these, not adjustable, you know, the ones where you can take them off and put them on the different size cords. You know what I mean, I'm sure you do. I can't think of the word at the moment. And I couldn't find my 4.5mm ones I normally use for hats that has just the right size for an adult hat. So I put this on a cable, and it's not quite big enough, but it's also not big enough to do magic loop with it. So I'm not happy with how the tensions come out on it. So what I think I'm going to do is, it's not even, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it off and frog it. And then I'm going to put a bigger cable on and do it magic loop style and do it again, because every time I pick this up, I look at it and I'm like, no, don't like that. So it might take a bit longer, but I'll be a bit happier with it. And being it's such a plain, nice colour, I'm trying to also think maybe I shouldn't knit this. Maybe I should do it with some sort of interesting crochet pattern instead. Gonna have to think. That's definitely not a whip, that's going to be a frog today, and start again. Right, it's alright. If you haven't been with me before, my head's all over the place. I'm like it most of the time. I can't think straight most of the time, and my mind wanders off somewhere else when I'm talking. If you've got this far, thank you very much. If you're a new subscriber, thank you very much for subscribing. It's great to have you here. And I'm going to say goodbye for now, because otherwise I'm just going to waffle and waffle and waffle. But before I go, please tell me what you're working on. Let's inspire each other or give each other ideas by what we're working on. And I will talk to you again soon. Take care, stay crafty, and bye for now.